Maybe there will be a bad guy who is guarded by the cows. Moo, moo. With the Chirp YouTube channel. Here I am again. This is video number 3 about trains. I don't know if I could do so many videos about trains that people with autism or people who have children with autism would be uninterested, but I think 3 in a row is pretty great, don't you? This is my video on how to play with trains at a more advanced level. We're still dealing with kids. We're still dealing with kids who have autism spectrum disorders. So this isn't going to be playing with trains with typical kids. This is going to be playing with trains with kids who have communication difficulties, difficulties with self-management, difficulties with social skills, and potentially sensory issues, although I'm not really going to discuss that so much because playing with trains is a sensory experience in itself that tends to keep a lot of our kids calm. My first tip for a more advanced level of playing with trains is going to be to work on back and forth verbal interactions. Last time in the moderate video, I talked about how we should introduce the idea of the trains talking to each other, whether they have faces or not. We should introduce potentially the idea of the cows talking to each other, the people talking to each other. We also, this train set that I have happens to have, where's the roof? Well, the roofs have fallen off. This is my real set that I use in my classroom. So, you know, things happen. And I'm not exactly sure where all the pieces are. But that is okay. It came with a police station and a policeman, a fire station, a hospital, and the people that go with all these. And the advanced level is when we want to start introducing these. For example, you could have a person fall on the train track right when a train is coming. Now in real life, we know that this man would be squished beyond recognition and there would be no saving him. However, this is play and we can be creative. So I make sure that we have a car rush over, vroom, and we pick up this guy and we say, hospital, we need to take him to the hospital. And we get the doctor, and we take him to the hospital. Now you can have the kid be the person or you can have the kid be the doctor, which is really fun. And you have to say, doctor, doctor, is he gonna be okay? We can use the train to transport him as well if that's more motivating for your child, which it very well might be. So use these sorts of tools if you have them. If the train set that I link below, I will try to make sure that it has these pieces. So and people, because otherwise it's just cars and trains driving around in a circle and it's not very interactive. You can make it interactive by getting the Thomas the Tank Engine ones with faces. You can make it interactive just by having the engines talk to each other. It's a little bit more challenging for kids if you have actual people who are talking to each other, because as I mentioned before, it's harder for people with autism to play with toys that are people, because people are unpredictable, people are emotional, people are a little bit too quick for their processing speeds sometimes. People are not understanding of people who have neurological differences. People can be frightening, people can be overwhelming. We want to introduce people and interacting with people in safe ways that are fun. And trains are one of the ways that we can do this, because trains are motivating and trains are fun and soothing. Therefore, thinking about people while we're playing with trains is challenging, but hopefully not too challenging. So right within that zone of proximal development. But keep your eye on your kid. If your kid is ramping up, then just put the people away for now and have the trains talk to each other. If your child is feeling very calm and relaxed, bring the people out and have the people start talking and commenting on stuff, getting hurt, putting out fires, arresting bad guys. You know, there's lots of fun stuff that can happen. My second tip for a more advanced version of playing with trains is creating the rules together. This is a back and forth thing. Again, most of what we want to be working on at this level is back and forth communication, creating the universe together. So for example, you might say, only blue trains can go on this track. And then you might say, where can the red trains go? And then you have to decide together. Maybe the blue trains and the red trains need to have a discussion because it's not really fair that only the blue trains can use that track. Maybe they can be friends and they can build the tracks together. You can negotiate a lot of things, and negotiation is a really high level cognitive skill for kids. So it's great to work on it through play. Figure out what the rules of your universe are. What happens to the bad guys? As soon as we start creating rules in a universe, most of my little boys will break the rules. They'll pick a bad guy and he'll constantly go through the stop sign. And the kid will be looking right at me. What are you gonna do about it? It's a healthy thing for kids to have a way to be the bad guy sometimes. And play is one of those places where they can be the bad guy without getting in trouble for it. So, when the train goes through here, I thought I had a policeman in here. Oh, I do. Let's say this train goes through the stop sign. In fact, I should pick a car because trains are on tracks. This car goes through the stop sign. Here comes the policeman. That's not safe. You need to go to jail. And then I'm gonna take this, it's a garage, but I'm gonna pretend that it's a jail. And we put him in jail. We block up the door and we set the timer, and he has to stay in there for 1 minute. And the policeman is going to stand here and he's going to guard the door. Of course, they can't find the policeman right now. Oh, I put the policeman in jail. That's not right. Creating the rules with the kids is really, really useful. So when this car goes through the stoplight, you can ask the kids, what should happen? Maybe you give the idea of jail the very first time. Then maybe next time you can say, should he go to jail? Should he have to pay money? What should happen when he doesn't stop at the stop sign? Usually kids love the idea of jail, and they love the idea of having to trap someone in jail. In fact, this thing is cool because we can put the roof on, and then I have this little fence that I can use for the jail. They think it's really funny for the bad guy to go to jail. So a lot of times the kids will keep on making the bad guy be a bad guy. So then you can introduce other ways of breaking rules. For example, you can say, our rule is, let's see, you can't leave your car on the tracks overnight. You can't leave your car on the tracks overnight. What if a car needs to drive through? This is not a good plan. What do you guys think? Do you think there should be a rule about this? And what do you think should happen if somebody breaks the rule? And then of course the kids will say, maybe the car he doesn't get to drive for a whole day, or he has to go to jail too, or maybe the guy who owns the car has to pay money. There are lots of different creative ways to punish people, and kids come up with some really creative ones. So set the rules together, set the consequences together, and make this universe yours, uniquely yours. My next tip for playing with trains at a more advanced level is to play different characters and encourage the child to do the same. You might have a particular voice for the cow, for the person driving this car, and for this engine. Maybe the cow is a female. She does have an udder. Maybe the person driving this car is a really old man who speaks really slowly. And maybe engine number 306 is a woman with a really fast voice and a really high squeaky voice. And she always talks really fast like that. These are fun characters. Maybe you can say your train is the boy, except I believe that this engine is named Mavis, which is the girl's name. This engine is the girl, Mavis. Mavis. What does her voice sound like? What does she like? What does she not like? Does she like driving on the train all by herself? Or does she like having a tender? Talk about the likes and dislikes of the different characters and flesh them out as characters. Make them more real. Because, once again, this is personifying inanimate objects, which is healthy for kids as they are learning about how to relate to other people. Make them diverse. Don't make all of the trains just like you. I don't mean they have to be different colors, even though clearly they are. We don't want them all to love macaroni and cheese as their favorite meal. Oh no, Mavis loves macaroni and cheese. Number 306, he likes apples. That's his favorite thing, apples. We want to make a wide variety of humanity presented in our toys so that our kids will be more ready to accept a wider variety of humanity when they meet them in person. My next tip for playing with kids with trains at a more advanced level is to problem solve together. You might create the problem, playful obstruction. You might need to arrest someone, but there's already someone in jail. The jail is full. What do we do now? Maybe your kids will create another jail out of fences, or maybe there will be a jail on the roof for the extra bad guy. He doesn't get protected from the rain. Maybe there will be a bad guy who is guarded by the cows. Moo, moo. Who knows what will happen to the second bad guy, but you can problem solve that together. Maybe somebody falls in the tracks and they need to make sure that doesn't happen again. What are we going to do? Do we put a stop sign for the trains in case someone is crossing? Do we put a crossing machine so that people know that it's not safe to cross here so they won't get hit? What do we do? There are lots of opportunities to solve problems together. Make that part of your more advanced train set play. My last tip for the more advanced play with train sets is working on emotions. Once again, maybe this seems a little weird to you because it's a train set. There aren't supposed to be any feelings with trains. We want there to be feelings with trains. The cow is feeling sad because she loves the blue train, and the blue train didn't go by today. The red train went by today. I'm disappointed. Maybe the blue train is sad because he loves to see pine trees, but there weren't any pine trees along his train tracks today. Of course, we don't want it to be just negative emotions. We want it to be happy emotions. Let's see. This is the Thomas creation, not exactly a train set, but you could say he has a name too, probably. Number 12. Number 12, Digger, is excited. He gets to dig in the dirt today. He loves to dig in the dirt. It's his favorite thing. You can think up all sorts of emotions that come from the adventures that our friends will be having. If someone almost runs over somebody, that was scary. If somebody needs some gas, I'm hungry. I need some fuel. Think of different ways to express emotions, to talk about emotions, to have the trains and the animals and the people experience and communicate their emotions. Talk with your kids about how they think that the blue engine might be feeling if he loves pine trees. And there are tons of pine trees along his route today. How do you think he feels? I would feel happy and excited. And I would say, thank you, God, for making beautiful pine trees. Whatever it is that you think you would say, whatever your kid would say, talk about these things in play. Talk about how other people experience these things, because it's good to be able to tell what other people are thinking and to sort of analyze how a particular situation might make someone else feel and how it might lead to certain emotions in other people. That's a great social skill to have. There are my tips for more advanced play with a train set for kids with autism. It's a very niche video. I hope it's helpful to you. If it is, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and forward my videos that have been most helpful to you to other people. It really helps other people have hope about their kids' development, about their own ability to interact with their kids in helpful ways. It's challenging to be a parent. It's challenging for us as professionals sometimes to get new ideas about how to interact with our clients or our students. We can all help each other by continuing to learn. And this channel is where we do that together. I hope you're having a great week. Stay healthy, stay safe, and I will see you next time with another video. Thanks for being here. There are lots of different creative ways to punish people.